Bismillahir Rahmanir Rahim. In the name of God, the most compassionate, the most merciful. All praises be to our Lord, the cherisher and nourisher and sustainer of the entire universe. The most compassionate, the most merciful, master of the day of judgment. You alone we worship, and you alone we ask for help. Guide us to the right path, the path of those whom you bestowed your mercy, and not those who went astray, who earned your anger and went astray. Amen. Dear brothers and sisters, Assalamu alaikum, peace be upon you. The universal greeting of peace. We are in chapter 12, Surah Yousef, the beautiful story of Joseph, which, as I have said earlier, appears to be the same in the existing books, Quran, the New Testament and Old Testament. You see this story very similar. There is a surah, there is a lesson. It's not a fiction. It's something to learn from. It's a beautiful chapter, one of the probably, I shouldn't really say best, most interesting, most educating sections is this surah. So we are going to be spending some time. In fact, I believe this is the third or fourth session I have been talking on this chapter. If you have the book, please open and bring to ayah number 27, verse number 27. Remember, the story was the lady has followed Joseph, and here they are caught by the husband at the door, and the lady is telling her husband, what should we be doing to somebody who has bad intention about your wife? Either to put him in jail or punish him the worst. And Joseph simply says, this is she who wanted to seduce me, not me. And then a witness here came with a solution or a suggestion, saying that to watch and see if Joseph's shirt is being torn from behind. Then the lady is lying and Joseph is right. And reverse is true if his shirt is being torn from front. And obviously his shirt was torn from behind. But in spite of that, فَلَمَّا أَعُوذُ بِاللَّهِ مِنَ الشَّيْطَانِ الرَّجِيمِ بِسْمِ اللَّهِ الرَّحْمَنِ الرَّحِيمِ وَإِنْ كَانَ غَمِيسَهُ غُدَّ مِنْ دُبِرٍ فَكَذَبَتْ وَهُوَ مِنَ الصَّادِقِينَ, which we already mentioned that. فَلَمَّا رَأَى قَمِيصَهُ قُدَّ مِنْ دُبِرٍ قَالَ إِنَّهُ مِنْ كَيْدِكُنَّ إِنَّ كَيْدِكُنَّ عَظِيمٌ. When they saw that Joseph's garment and shirt was torn from behind, then she said to her husband, this surely was a plot, and plot of women is very great. Yousef أعرض عن هذا. Joseph was told, oh Joseph, turn away from this. واستغفري لذنبك إنك كنت من الخاطئين. Joseph was told, I keep saying Jesus, Joseph was told to ignore this story. Stay away from this. And she was told to ask forgiveness for her behavior. Verily, she was sinful herself. وقال نسوة في المدينة امرأة العزيز تراود فتاها عن نفسه. Then the story started to be published among the ladies in the city. They began to say that the wife of this man, who was apparently a well-known had intention toward his own servant. So actually they started blaming her. Why should she, a lady in such position, have desire for somebody like her own servant, a man of no class in a way? But شغفها حبا, between them love was created, or a love relationship was established between them. إِنَّا لَنَرَاهَا فِي زَلَالٍ مُبِينٍ. As I said, they were blaming her, saying that she was in great astray, or she was in a great or plain error. فَلَمَّا سَمِعَتْ بِمَكْرِهِنَّ أَرْسَلَتْ عَلَيْهِنَّ وَاعْتَدَتْ لَهُنَّ مُتَكَاءً وَآتَتْ كُلُّ واحدة منهن سكينا وقالت أخرج عليهن. She planned another plot, I would say. Invited the ladies, some of those who were really blaming her, and gave them a knife, a sharp knife, as they are working in the kitchen. And then she asked Joseph to appear to them. فَلَمَّا رَأَيْتَهُ أَكْبَرْنَهُ وَقَطَعْنَا أَيْدِيَهُنَّ وَقُلْنَا حَاشَا لِلَّهِ مَا هَذَا بَشَرٌ إِنْ هَذَا إِلَّا مَلَكٌ كَرِيمٌ. The beauty of Joseph so attracted these ladies that they were almost cutting their hands. In other words, they were so overwhelmed by the beauty of this man. In a way, the lady wanted to show that what she really had her eyes to wasn't something that she should be blamed for. If this was their position, they probably would have done the same. This again is not a love story. It's telling us, when you see somebody in a situation, don't try to blame. You don't know what would have happened to you if you were in that position. As it says in that great Gatsby's book, we judge people in our mind based on what we believe, based on our own tolerance or whatever thinking. Who knows what the situation was, or what should have been, or what would have been taken place if such a story would have happened to each and every one of us. But because we were not in that position, and here is a test, the lady is trying to test others who were blaming her, and they proved to be as wicked as she was, and probably worse. And they said, قُلْنَا حَاشَا لِلَّهِ مَا هَذَا بَشَرٌ. Oh, Allah is perfect, this is not a human being. إِنْ هَذَا إِلَّا مَلَكٌ كَرِيمٌ. This is a very noble angel. قالت فذلكن الذي لمتني فيه I'm sorry ولقد راودته عن نفسه فاستعصم ولئن لم يفعل ما أمره ليسجنن ولا يكون من الصاغرين. She said, this is the young man for which you were blaming me, that I have had some desire in him. And I did seek to seduce him, but he refused. And now, if he refuses to obey my order, I will put him in jail, and I will disgrace him. In other words, cause him something, irrespect. I will, in a way, trying to scare Joseph, to force him to do things which he didn't want to. And see the response of Joseph is so beautiful. The response of Joseph, it says, قال رب السجن أحب لي إلى ما يدعونني إليه. Says, oh my Lord, prison is much better for what I'm being invited to. Now if we were to judge the situation, we would probably have said Joseph was crazy. Here is a beautiful lady, is a young man with all his fire of desire, and she's the one who asking for, and she's the one who, even when she was caught, she brought a reason to save herself and blame Joseph. So why shouldn't I? But here the man says, oh my Lord, prison is better to me than what she's inviting me to. وَإِلَّا تَصْرِفْ عَنِّي كَيْدُهُنَّ أَصْبُ إِلَيْهِنَّ وَأَكُنْ مِنَ الْجَاهِلِينَ. If he did not turn away from her, or had he not turned away from her, and she would have, or he would have touched her, or he would have been with her, then he was from the arrogant and ignorance. So he was tested. One of the worst tests that can happen to someone, a young man. فَاسْتَجَابَ لَهُ رَبُّهُ. Because he prayed with sincerity. He was not pretending to anything. He was not showing off to anybody. He was trying to save his own dignity. Did not want to transgress something that was not his right. Therefore his prayer was accepted right away. فَاسْتَجَابَ لَهُ رَبُّهُ. Allah accepted his prayer. فَصَرَفَ عَنْهُ كَيْدَهُنَّ. And save him from his plot, from her plot. إِنَّهُ هُوَ السَّمِيعُ الْعَلِيمُ. Verily God is most hearing, most wise, most knowledgeable. ثُمَّ بَدَا لَهُم مِّن بَعْدِ مَا رَأَوْهُ آيَاتٍ لَيَسْجُنَنَّهُ حَتَّى حِينٍ. Then it occurred to them, after they had seen the proof of innocence, even after he was proved to be innocent, he was put in prison. That's another story. You may have all the witnesses and everything for you, speak for you. For those who do not want to accept your reasons, for those who are blind to the truth, for those who have their own minds and their own plans and their own vicious needs and greeds, as I always say, the man should have been forgiven, let go. He did not do and was not accused of any crime. He was proven to be innocent, but still he was sent to the jail. وَدَخَلَ مَعَهُ السِّجْنَ فَتِيَانِ. Because there is another step and another stage of testing for Joseph, and it's so beautiful, this part of the story, that says, وَدَخَلَ مَعَهُ السِّجْنَ فَتَيَانِ. Along with Joseph, there were two other men, young men, who were present with him. قَالَ أَحَدُهُمَا إِنِّي أَرَانِي أَعْصُرَ خَمْرًا وَقَالَ الْآخَرُ إِنِّي أَرَانِي أَحْمِلُ فَوْقَ رَأْسِي خُبْزًا تَأْكُلُ الطَّيْرَ مِنْهُ نَبِّئْنَا بِتَأْوِيلِهِ إِنَّا نَرَاكَ مِنَ الْمُحْسِنِينَ. They have heard, or they probably knew, or they were told that Joseph knows the story or the interpretation of the dreams or the events. So one of them said that they both are describing the dream they had. One is saying that I saw in my dream that I was pressing wine, making wine. And the other said, I saw myself in a dream carrying piece of bread on my head, and the birds were eating from that bread. So can you tell us about the meaning of this, or do some interpretation of such a dream? Verily we know that you are among the good doers. So here they again, even those people in prison for whatever reason, they admit to the beauty and to the good being of a man such as Joseph. قال يأتيكما طعام ترزقانه إلا نبعتكما بتعويله قبل أن يأتيكما. He said, no food will come to you as your provision, but I will make this interpretation for you before such food arrives. In other words, he's telling them that he will be discussing his interpretation after the meal. ذَلِكُمَا مِمَّا عَلَّمَنِي رَبِّي. Another beautiful lesson here. Doesn't say, oh yeah, I know, I'm proud of being able to do this and that, giving all the credit to himself. He says, yes, I will do that, but ذَلِكُمَا مِمَّا عَلَّمَنِي مِنْ رَبِّي. This is something that my Lord has taught me. The state of humbleness of the prophets, they never credited themselves. They never claimed that we are here to guide you people, we are here to tell you the truth from. They came with such a humble attitude that the greatest people were put into shame in front of them with such humbleness. Here it says, I have learned this from my Lord. أني تركت ملة قوم لا يؤمنون بالله وهم بالآخرة هم كافرون. I left the fate of the people who had no belief in Lord, and they had also no belief in hereafter. Introduces himself. He's in jail, he's in prison because of his belief. Because of his belief, he was protected. Because of his belief, he passed 2 stages so successfully. And as we'll see, he will pass this stage as well. وَاتَّبَعْتُ مِلَّةَ أَبَايَ إِبْرَاهِيمَ وَإِسْحَاقَ وَيَعْقُوبَ. I did not follow their path, but I followed the path of my grandfather and my father's father, Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob. I wish we could say the same thing. I wish all these redneck believers that they claim to be believers, Orthodox or whatever, they would have followed the footpath of Abraham. They would have followed the footpath of Isaac or Jacob. The actual children of Israel, the true children of Israel, the true believers in Jacob and Joseph. ما كان لنا أن نشرك بالله من شيء. It is not our duty to have any associate with our Lord. These are the people of monotheistic belief. ذلك من فضل الله علينا. So beautiful. He hasn't even done the interpretation of the dream, but he's teaching his idea. He will have a class in the prison. No matter if there are 2 people in prison, no matter what this prophet is supposed to do his prophecy, even in the dark of prison when there are only 2 people, his mission is not finished. Before fulfilling their desire, which was demanding him to say and to interpret their dream, which he did. But first he tries to say where is he, who is he, what he believes, where he comes from, and then teaching that entire idea and ideology. I am not a believer and follower of the people who were gone astray, did not believe in God, did not believe in hereafter. I am the follower of Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob. And it is not to us means the follower of this beloved people, meaning Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob, as examples of the great prophets, obviously, not as the only prophets. وَذَلِكَ مِنْ فَضْلِ اللَّهِ عَلَيْنَا. This is the blessing of God for us. وَعَلَى النَّاسِ. And this is not only on us, on all people. وَلَكِنْ أَكْثَرَ النَّاسِ لَا يَشْكُرُونَ. But verily many people do not appreciate. Ya sahib al-sijn. Now here is addressing a question after he has given the lesson. Oh my friends in prison, أَأَرْبَابٌ مُتَفَرَّغُونَ خَيْرٌ أَمِ اللَّهُ الْوَاحِدُ الْقَهَّارُ. Is asking them. Good teachers always teach their points in the form or question format. Oh, you, the companions of prison, are many different lords or gods better than Allah, the one who is irresistible? The only God who has created the entire universe. Is it good to worship Him and be only obedient to Him? Or all these God and goddesses which we have created for ourselves, and we are true servants of these people? Isn't it better to be the servant of a God who is not needy, the Ghaniyun Hamid, or these worldly or earthly gods who demand nothing from us but the slavery? ما تعبدون من دونه ما تعبدون من دونه إلا أسماء سميتموها. What you people are worshipping but only some names whom you have named them as such. In other words, you have made your own idol. Idols are not pieces of woods or stones which we have carved or made in our hands as a sculpturists to worship them. Idols are many forms, invisible forms, not always out of us, many in us, within us, that we worship. ما تعبدون من دونه إلا أسماء سميتموها أنتم وآباؤكم ما أنزل الله بها من سلطان. There is no revelation, no authority have come upon them from the Lord. These are something you people name for yourself as boss, super boss, power, superpower, and you name it. For a real obedient to Almighty Lord, إِيَّاكَ نَعْبُدُ وَإِيَّاكَ نَسْتَعِينُ. We only worship you and only you, and we ask you for help. أَنَ الْحُكْمُ إِلَّا لِلَّهِ. The judgment only belongs to Allah, no one else. أَنَ الْحُكْمُ إِلَّا لِلَّهِ. أَمَرَ اللَّهَ تَعْبُدُ إِلَّا إِيَّاهُ. He is the one who commands us to worship no one but Him. ذَلِكَ الدِّينُ الْقَيِّمُ. The real religion, the real truth, the surviving true religion, to worship the Creator and no one else. وَلَكِنْ أَكْثَرَ النَّاسِ لَا يَعْلَمُونَ. But verily many people do not know. I pray to God that we do recognize and realize and get away and break all those idols which we have created in our lives. They are barriers to our understanding, to our progress, to our growth. They are barriers to our true love to the beloved Creator, the most compassionate, the most merciful. May God help us to understand His guidance. May God help us to stick to our promise, to worship none but Him, to realize, recognize, and break all those idols on our way to Him. اهدنا الصراط المستقيم, the right path, the path of the blessed, the path of those who were always watchful not to go astray.